Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Imo government denies receiving 70 billion naira tax from oil. NLC asks Buhari to raise salaries by 50%. NUJ kicks as police arrest Akwa Ibom newspaper distributor. Police dismiss officer for checking commuter's phone. Unknown gunmen kidnap police DCO in Abia. Again, bandits killed 16 villagers, abducted several others in Taraba community. Father arrested for alleged killing of a girl. NNPC IOC signed agreements to generate 500 billion naira revenue. On foreign story, India to deport 3 Nigerians, 2 other Africans. And on sports, Iwobi's Everton suffered defeat against Aston Villa. Now the news in detail. The Imo State government has described claim by a group of people from Egbema in Oaji Egbema local government area that 70 billion naira was released to the state. Government has accrued taxes from oil producing status of the state as totally false. The government, in a statement on Saturday by the Chief Press Secretary, Oguwike Nwachukwu, said no such money was released to the state government accrued from tax. He said that the government runs an open and transparent process and as such could not have received amounts in secret. This government runs an open and transparent process. There is no way such a huge amount of 70 billion naira could be released to the state government as accrued taxes secretly. The truth is that information is false. Those behind the press conference should desist from raising false alarm, the statement concluded. And to the next story. The Nigeria Labour Congress has recommended a 50% salary review across the board given the realities on ground. The Labour Union made the recommendation in a letter to President Muhammadu Buhari dated August 8. The letter was a response to the economic prescription offered by the state's governors. As earlier reported, the governors had pushed for the elimination of petrol subsidy, the retirement of civil servants from the age of 50, and the reduction of National Assembly constituency projects, among other prescriptions. The union lambasted the governors for seeking early retirement of workers, saying anyone promoting this idea should be treated as enemies of your government. Instead of early retirement, the union asked the Buhari-led administration to consider a further increase of workers' salaries. While we commend for you and your thoughtfulness for a wage increase, truth of the matter is that given the misfortune that has befallen the Nigerian populace, especially workers with fixed incomes, there is an urgent need for a massive intervention much deeper than the 22%. The letter signed by the NLC president, Ayuba Waba, said. We will recommend a 50% salary review across the board, given the realities on ground. Moving on to the next story. Akwa Ibom State Police Command on Friday arrested a newspaper distributor in the state, Mr. Chidi Ngadi Ubia, on alleged orders of the state's government. Ngwadi Ibua was arrested by security operatives at his distribution point number 15, Asote Street, and has been detained in the command's headquarters, Ikot Akpanabia, Uyo, the state's capital. Daily Post gathered that Mr. Ngadiuba was not the target, rather the publisher of the Mail newspaper, Infreke Nsewo Konoswo, whose publications were allegedly offensive to the state government. According to information gathered, a female caller had tricked the publisher, who had been on the run, by telling him she had an advert for him for publication in his paper. The source added that the caller was referred to drop the advertisement materials with the newspaper distributor to be picked up later dates. Both on arrival at Mr. Ngadiuba distribution point, they arrested and dragged him to the police headquarters, Ikot Akpanabia, in Uyo, the state's capital, and asked him to produce the publisher, else he will be made to face the wrath of the government. The plot to arrest the publisher had been widely reported by other local tabloids in the state, who had alleged that the state government was not happy with certain publications of the newspaper as relates to the PDP candidate, Umo Uno's alleged certificate forgery scandal. Moving on to the next story on the world news this hour. The Nigeria Police Force has dismissed one of its officers found guilty of assault and disobedience of lawful order. Okoyemi Kadiri, a corporal attached to the Dolphin Divisional Headquarters in Lagos, was dismissed for gross misconduct, disobedience to lawful order, and assault. The force spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi said in a statement on his Twitter handle on Friday. The officer was captured in a viral video on 3rd August searching a commuter's phone. The police said his behavior was contrary to the directive of the Inspector General of Police, IGP, Usman Baba. According to the male voice in the video, the dismissed police officer and his colleague had asked him to pull over and attempted to search his phone, but he resists, saying it was against the law. So I was going for a job, the policeman stopped me, collected my phone and was searching me. But the Inspector General of Police said on Twitter that you should not search my phone. Why are you searching my phone? The arguments went on. Shortly after the video surfaced, the police in Lagos said the officer had been identified and recommended for disciplinary action. According to the police, no police officer has the right to check one's phone anywhere except the phone is an exhibit in a case under investigation.
Police command for gross misconduct, disobedience to lawful order, and assault on a member of the public captured in a viral video on August 3, 2022. The dismissed officer who enlisted into the force on the 6th of December 2016 was caught searching a commuter's phone by the roadside contrary to the directive of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba.
We were going for a job and this policeman stopped me, collected my phone and was searching.
To that effect, he equally assaulted the commuter who attempted to bring the order to his notice. His dismissal takes effect from today, the 12th of August 2022. The police hereby calls on officers and men of the force to maintain professionalism and civility to members of the public in the discharge of their duties in line with extant laws.
Kadiri to be dismissed from the Nigerian Police Force. We effect from today, 12th of August 2022. By this, he ceased to be a member of the Nigerian Police Force. I want to urge members of the public to please take note of this. Do not relate with him as a member of the Nigerian Police Force because he has ceased to be a member of this noble family as from this moment. We want to reassure Nigerians that we will not in any way condone any act of indiscipline whatsoever in the Nigerian Police Force. The Nigerian Police Force remains a very civil organization, an enviable organization that has values, that has constitutional powers to protect Nigerians, protect people's fundamental human rights, and to provide adequate security for all and sundry. We will not allow any of our members to venture into assaulting, harassing, extorting, or engaging in any inappropriate acts.
The force equally calls on members of the public to ensure proper conduct in all encounters with police officers to avoid infractions which may be subject to prosecution.
Gunmen have kidnapped the Divisional Crime Officer, DCO, Isuochi Police Station in Umuniochi Council area of Abia State, simply identified as DSP Dixon. The policemen were said to have been abducted in broad daylight 3 days ago, Thursday, 10th August, in the area, while other policemen escaped by whiskers in the attack. Some policemen who pleaded anonymity told Sunday Vanguard that the morale of officers in the area has gone down since the kidnap of the DCO, who is described as a tough cop. Sunday Vanguard gathered that the police authorities in the state had deployed all the tactical squads of the state police command to rescue the victim and his abductors, all to no avail. The unsuccessful search by the tactical team is said to have fueled speculations about the safety of the top policemen in the area. The policeman and the policemen urged Governor Okeze Ibiazu to put more effort to check the rising kidnapping incidents in the Umuniochi Isiokuta area and liaise with the police hierarchy to reorganize the police in the state. Sunday Vanguard further gathered that the family of the kidnapped DCO has paid an undisclosed amount demanded by his abductors, yet the DCO is still held in captive. In case you're just joining, you are watching the world news from BGI TV. And more to come. Bandits have again killed no fewer than 16 persons in different communities of Taraba State. Daily Post learned that the bandits stormed the communities in their numbers at the weekend and whisked away several persons. Communities invaded by the attackers are Gidado and Gerkim Kuka villages in Gunduma district of Mutumbiu Chiefdom in Goso local government area. Confirming the attack, the staff of the local government, who gave his name as Abdullah Ichul, said the attackers who invaded communities in their numbers accessed the villages with motorbikes. Chul said attackers on arriving in the communities were shooting sporadically, adding that several other persons escaped with gunshot injuries. Few weeks ago, bandits Itube Court blocked roads in the council where a truck driver was killed and travelers in their numbers abducted. Also confirming the report, the police public relations officer Abdullahi Usman admitted that there was an attack on the council. He told our correspondent that the command was on top of the situation as efforts to get at the bandits were in motion. Moving forward to another angle of the world news today. An over 80 years old man, Dawda Ibrahim, has been apprehended for kidnapping and killing his daughter Sharifa for ritual purpose. Daily Post report that the incident occurred in Ida local government area of Kogi State. The suspect is said to be a staff of the Federal Polytechnic, Ida, in the Department of Works and Fire Services unit. He was alleged to have perpetrated the nefarious act alongside two other people, Isa Adams and one Ada. A source said that the victim Sharifa was kidnapped on 4th August 2022 at the residence in Okenya, along Italy Street in the Igalamela or Dolu local government area of the state. The source added that the girl's remains were discovered in a shallow grave a few days after her disappearance, with the body and some vital organs missing. SP Williams Aya, the state command's police public relations officer, who confirmed the incident, explained that the suspect and his accomplices were presently under police custody. According to the state's PPRO, the Commissioner of Police, CP Edward Ebuka, has directed that the matter be transferred to the Criminal Investigation Department in Lokoja for further investigation. And to the business story this hour. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and international oil companies operating in Nigeria on Friday signed various agreements that would ensure the production of about 10 billion barrels of crude oil and generate over $500 billion revenue to all parties involved. NNPC officials and their counterparts from the IOCs, including Shell, Chevron, Texaco, Sinopec, Sepatri, Esso Exploration, and Production Nigeria Limited, among others, renewed their agreement in 5 oil mining leases, OMLs, that included OMLs 128, 130, 132, and 133 and 138. The agreement renewed by the parties were production sharing contracts, as well as dispute resolutions agreements, among others, at a signing ceremony held at Abuja headquarters of NNPC. Speaking at the event, the Group General Manager, National Petroleum Investment Management Service, Bala Wunti, said, cumulatively, we hope to produce and monetize over 10 billion barrels of oil with these signatures that we add today. A video.
To develop more and deeper relationships.
It is an event expected to mark a new phase in the regime of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, especially in the light of the full implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act. Government officials, captains of industries, and major players in the oil and gas industry gathered for this key event, which is the execution of the renegotiated production sharing contracts between the NNPC and its production sharing contractors. The project is expected to see both the federal government and the contractors benefit.
When the signing of the DSA and the enabling PSA, investments will come back. Uncertainties have been removed. New investors will come in because of the terms in the Petroleum Industry Act that enables recovery of costs, a very substantial and competitive benefit that will come to businesses, And ultimately, we know that this country will be the environment of choice for businesses as we continue to develop more and deeper relationship with our current partners. And we look forward to other partners joining us in this space.
As you are doing, you're planning for future investment. Please focus on assets or gas assets, because to me, that's the future. Of course, we want to jump to renewables, but before we jump, let's try to hold the rope and get to point where we want to get to. But most importantly, please also focus on gas or on your gas assets.
The Production Sharing Contract, PSC, is an arrangement used in the upstream sector for the exploration and development of petroleum resources. Several oil-producing countries are adopting it as a contract for the exploration and development of their oil and gas resources. While the opportunities are...
You are watching the world news from BGI TV. Now to come is the foreign story. The Indian government has concluded plans to deport 3 Nigerians and 2 other Africans living in the country without valid visas and passports amid an ongoing clampdown on illegal migrants. According to India Today, several Nigerians residing in the South Asian country have been deported in recent months. The new batch, according to the report, has in 8 Nigerians staying in Dwarka, a district in the Indian state of Gujarat. They were said to be unable to produce valid visas before Indian officials and have been sent to detention center. The culprits are identified as Fabulous Frederick, Onyekachi Edwin Obaga, and Izuchukwu McDonald Okpara, all India 30s. Other Africans to be deported are Patricia Atuvura and Sarah Oforiwa, Uganda and Ghanaian respectively. The Indian authorities who have ordered their deportation said they have overstayed in the country without valid visas. And now to sports story. Alex Iwobi was in action as Everton went down to a 2-1 defeat against Aston Villa at the Villa Park Stadium this afternoon. Iwobi was in action for 90 minutes in the thrilling encounter. The Nigerian international has now featured for 120 minutes in Everton's 2 Premier League games this season. Danny Ings hammered home from inside the area in the 31st minute after controlling and turning nicely. The host waited until the 87th minute before doubling their lead through Emiliano Buendia. Buendia slotted the ball from close range from Oli Watkins' low cross. An instant response from Everton set up tense final. A great run from Amadou Onana was followed by a cross which was turned into his own net by Lucas Digne. That concludes the world news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Imo government denies receiving 70 billion naira tax from oil. NLC asks Buhari to raise salaries by 50%. We also brought to you NUJ kicks as police arrest Akwa Ibom newspaper distributor. And finally, Premier League sport stories. Iwobi's Everton suffered defeat against Aston Villa. Thank you for watching. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Baba Gbagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Gbagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Gbagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, both outdoor. Please call the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. Have a wonderful day.
If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV. You're one in a million.